Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Building Repertoires using Chessable. In this series, I take brand new openings that I've never played before, and I'm learning them for the first time ever using Chessable courses specific to each one. So I'm working through the courses, and after you see me play these openings in my Blitz games during the series, I'll cross-reference them with the Chessable course to make sure I'm playing the right way and making sure I'm learning and improving for next time. So I hope you guys really enjoy the series, and I hope it gives you an insight into how to study and improve at chess. Let's go. All right, sticking with this Jobava London. Okay, e6. I think we pop in immediately with knight b5. Okay, the knight goes back, but he's going to be wasting a lot of time here. Because the bishop's not out, I don't need any like f3, g4, so I think we just go with the knight. You know what I was thinking there is I actually should have played a3 if I was truly playing the course. I played this a little too quickly. The course, if you just play these two moves, is a3. But for some reason, I didn't recognize it when we both moved our knights there and back. So a3 was 100% the move, and it's what we should have played. And then after a3, bishop d6, we should have played queen f3. So I actually just reviewed that. I definitely did not review this tricky like knight dance thing. But had I really used my brain there, I should have realized we transposed. So missed opportunity to play a3. I'm definitely not going to bother playing it now. There's no point, but I do want to point out, I'm pretty sure that's the exact move that we should have done. And then after this, we would have got to try a new variation with queen f3. Okay, castle. I'll just castle as well here. Queen e7. Okay, I'll just pop the knight in and then maybe get the queen out to h3. Yeah, he can't take it, or at least I don't think he wants to. Yeah, so we'll start eyeballing that pawn. Okay. There's g4. I'm not sure how good that is, though. Yeah. It's a little suspicious. Obviously, you can't take it, but you could definitely consider taking this. Okay. Not going to take with the bishop. I feel like he can go here, and, you know, it'll just get into a weird variation, honestly. Yeah, probably got to take this. Don't really know what's going to happen here. Let's go here. Try to stop this, play h4. Yeah, if you want my bishop, I can't do anything about it, so go wild. We'll need to play h4 most likely. Okay, so he's bringing his piece in, which makes a lot of sense. We need to play h4. Let's just go here. King h2, rook g1. Just try to keep like... Oh, wow, he took. Okay, tempting to take like this, but let's maintain the dark squares like this instead. Queen b4, we can play rook b1 if needed. But king h2 and rook g1 will absolutely be our next idea. And a3 will be a nice move for me to play eventually. Don't think we need it at the moment, because rook b1 is fine, but it is kind of annoying to have our pieces tied down here. So let's invest into a3. I feel like queen b4 is slightly annoying, so now we can fully commit on this side of the board. This knight can reroute here. Let's go here. If h6, we'd be happy to see it. We can slide into g6. So he goes g6 instead. Let's go here so we can play queen h6. And then this knight can go into the f4 square. Then all of our pieces are maximized. We could have maybe considered h5, but I think we're going to... I think we're going to maximize here. So queen b6, probably b4. Yes, he can break through, but maybe our knight can jump into c5 as well. Yeah, and this just feels like, yeah, you know, go wild on the queen side. I don't believe in it for you. I'm just going to play knight here, h5, e6. I got all the moves happening. Yeah, we're all over the squares right now. Big problems here. We can push, but we'll just take. To be honest, we can also play e6, which wins. It all wins. Yeah, so e6 actually wins a piece here, but I think taking is much more annoying for him to face. Maybe check here is actually pretty disturbing because h6 is happening. Yeah. Take this and then... Nice. Nice. GG. Good start. Let's go in for another one. e4. We'll be playing e5. And okay, we're getting a workout for our King's Gambit here. Jeez, it's going to be tough. Because we're going to play this g5 stuff. It's been so long since we looked at this. So I'm pretty sure that we played d6 here. Yeah, bishop c4. I think it's g4. I can barely remember this. So takes. Obviously, you have to take. I think we start by immediately running this. Do I have the line backwards? Like, my instinct would be to start with this. So I guess this just doesn't work, but I've never really stopped to think about that. Okay, c3. This is a move that I basically haven't seen. I feel like somehow the line is like... Somehow it feels like a little bit off right now. I'm not sure if I forgot something or he did, but something doesn't feel right. I guess I'll go for this. Maybe it was correct. Knight there, bishop c5. Maybe that was the correct thing. So I'll go here. Okay. I'm not sure whether to go bishop here, queen here, queen here. Many different options. But I think I will go for this. And then queen h5 next. I think the queen does well on h5. Let's not forget, I'm up a piece. That's the whole point of this line, is my opponent's sacrificing. So okay, so I guess I'll put my queen here. White's position looks solid. I mean, black has the extra piece, so it's not really any doubt. But yeah, knight a3. Is it crazy to go here and take this pawn? Probably, because he can short castle. We don't want to go insane there. Should we just be long castling? I guess he has this move. We got to be careful of that. And knight b5 is kind of annoying. I'm just going to play a6. Okay. So some sort of bishop move looks scary. I don't know about this, but if I can get the rook off the F file, that feels kind of like an achievement. Okay. We'll ignore that. I want the rook to move from the F file. Yeah, now I can get my knights out. He wants to open the E file. My instinct is just to keep it closed, just on principle. So I'm going to play D5. And let's go for, once again, more trades. We got this bishop that can come back to E6, which is really sturdy. Let's just take... I don't really care about this at all. Okay. Definitely interested in that. He's going to take. We can't trade queens because then we'd lose a piece, of course. But we're literally just up material right now. Let's castle. He's going to like probably play b4 and go ballistic over here. It's very expected. But we have h5, h4, which makes a pretty meaningful threat pretty quickly. Not too scared of whatever he's up to. Wow, that is a crazy move, my man. Let's start with just one check, just to see sort of what's up. Okay, rook takes. We can pre-move this. That rook takes move looked fairly likely. Oh, and trading everything here. That's not going to be the answer. Okay. Oh, that's, again, really bad move. We'll just support the rook. We'll play here, and the pre-move should be pretty easy from this moment on. GG. GG to Muhammad. It was e4, e5, f4, of course, takes knight f3, g5, d4. So after d4, I played d6, and the move was just g4. Now, for some reason on g4, I thought that he could play knight e5. I thought we weren't supposed to allow that. So I wonder what is it bishop c4? No, bishop c4, we played g4 as well. What's the move where we play d6? Does it just not exist? Knight c3, d6, I guess? Because h4, we play d4 as well. So surprisingly, the move d4 gets g4 as a reaction. I knew something was off about that variation. It didn't feel right. So let's see. Bishop takes f4, takes, knight c6. Bishop c4. And then queen f6. So again, I knew something fell off because it was the equivalent of, in this position, me playing the move d6. I knew something was just weird about that position. We got the white pieces. Going with the Jobava London. Bishop f5 immediately. So Like, if I'm not mistaken, we just go immediately with f3 here. Lone bishop f5, I think gets met with f3. I don't know. So he goes knight here, stopping that. And I don't think this move is correct. This is the one where we go g4, g5, e4, and f4. I think this is that crazy one. Knight here, I believe we just pick up the pawn. You could go knight back. That's interesting that he does. Totally an option. And now, kind of wondering, do we just play e4, just like gain all the space? Or do we play h4, which he'll almost certainly meet with something like this? Or we could go knight h3 to f4. All of the above looks pretty damn good. Wow. Pretty tough to say. I'm gonna go e4, but I don't know. I don't know about this move. A little suspicious. Not sure how I feel about this. S h4? Like, S h6, which feels really comfortable because I can't really play h5. So there's this pin. So, okay, he plays h5. Okay, I'm actually very happy to see that. I'm going to leave that square open for the bishop. h5 I'm happier to see. h6 I would have been more critical of. Okay, let's immediately do this. I know he can take this, but he can't quite win this pawn because I'm going to insert knight takes g6. So he plays this, which again makes complete sense. Guess we have to go here. Already feels a little bit funky though. c5, a3, takes, c4. Suppose we can always throw this in. Very confusing getting used to these opening lines. Let's start with this and then play bishop takes. That'll create a nice double attack, because taking here is it's definitely not good for him. He might go there and just invite this with king f7. It's kind of tough to handle. He goes here, which is, I think, a little bit nicer for me. So we'll just make this threat. He can certainly castle his way out of that, but bishop d2, castle. Don't think I'm going to rush and take that, because I'm going to have two hanging pawns here. More important for me to just get the heck out of the center. And we can go after the pawn later. For now, let's do this. Takes. Yes. It's kind of like not really what we want to be doing. But like, can we really give that up? Let's just do this. Feels like my position is just a little bit worse. Probably have to go bishop here. I'd love to play b3, but the bishop's hanging, so I'll definitely play bishop d2. I don't think he can take this. That looks like a pretty reasonable move by him. Let's go a4. Okay. Like to play a6, but naturally he should stop that. King needs to be on c1 and a rook here. Yeah, need to play a little bit of defense there. c4 definitely. It's a good move. We'll definitely have to give that up and go here. So it would actually be better for us if he goes rook h3 and goes after that pawn. Because I'd like to go here and go d5 and try to get some counterplay like that. Okay, I'll definitely take this. I want to maintain chances there. We can play d6, which is kind of, I don't know, it's a move. I'm gonna have to get some pre-moves in here. Not much I can do to stop that, unfortunately. I think we'll be able to get a flag in here. Just had to go with the flow there at the end and try to be as tricky as possible. The H pawn is definitely a very good source of counterplay. Completely winning for white, of course. If we had more time, we would have maybe taken, have this bishop cover and just move the A pawn, but kind of just had to play quickly. And by a stroke of bad luck, we actually can't even catch the H pawn there. But I would say not a successful opening in the sense that even though things kind of went well, I just don't have a very good opinion of this line. Even though it's a great line, gives a big advantage, I actually don't like the position. Because to me, it feels like the move h6 provides so much counterplay, and I don't see what I do about that. So I need a little more education here. I'm not sure that I'm going to find it in the actual course either, just because. So bishop here, f3, knight f6 here. Okay, so there's one line which we definitely haven't looked at with knight g8. So let's definitely take a look at this. Start with that. Might look logical, gives white an initiative. h4. I'm glad we're seeing h6 because that was my exact question. e4, e6, and knight h3. Yeah, because I always thought taking was quite good. Like if I take this way, it feels silly. I can't move my knight. So bishop takes. And if bishop e7, bishop e7, I guess queen d2. Yeah, probably queen d2. All right. d4. Will we get main line? We'll get a main line. It's hard to get the main line. All right. So we're going to threaten f2, force out e3, knight c6 to take the pawn, and just immediately knight c3. So I actually believe on bishop takes, we take here. But on knight c3, I think we castle first. a3. I think on all these a3 moves, we just play a5. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Queen d5, yes, hits the bishop, but queen e7 guards the bishop and hits the pawn again. So I think queen e7 is necessary here. So that h3, we can still retrieve this pawn. Okay. Now what? Maybe rook e8. Kind of like always a decent move. The queen here feels a little more awkward. So we could take, go knight e5, bishop goes back. We can play rook a6, but I don't think this rook a6 move is the one that we're supposed to choose in this variation. I don't think it is. So yeah, white should just, of course, keep the bishops. Bishop e2. Wow. Doesn't keep the bishop. Dang. Now, so if I take the bishop, I kind of understand what he's saying. He wants to take back and play knight d5. But maybe we can just lift the rook here. Try to swing it over. Rook d6 is not quite possible. Okay, so now he saves the bishop. I know we usually put the rook here, but like, is that still where my rook's supposed to go? Because he hasn't fully committed the bishop here. He can just play e4 if I put my rook there. That doesn't make sense. So I think I don't want to fully... I'm just going to go here. Man, I don't know if this makes sense. It just doesn't feel right to put it on that square. I think we're probably going to... if rook d6, queen takes my bishop. Concerned me. B6, knight d5 there. Okay, goes queen back. He wants knight d5. Maybe we just let it happen. I think let's play with the energy. We'll put the queen on h4. His knight can come back to f4, so not thrilled. It's kind of uncomfortable. Queen g5, though, would have resulted in the same thing. Yeah, I mean, I have this, but he's always got this knight g4 move. Nevertheless, I have to do this. Crazy not to. Takes and takes, maybe. So we'll come back here. h4, we have g5. And king here, we can sack and go for that. Feels like g5 is right. Probably have to just take, but the more I'm thinking about it here, it's probably the wrong decision just because of the time situation. That was a really clever move by my opponent as well. Don't really have a way to break through here. We're going to have to take this. I guess we got to go back. Really smart move. 3 seconds, not much to do here. Here. Maybe knight g6 is the one to do. Go for it, of course. Yeah. If he played knight f6, I would have gone for it because queen h4 takes f6. I could take the knight and maybe play for the win, but we're supposed to play. So knight f3, knight c6, knight c3. And I think we castled here. I hope that's the right move. I think that bishop there we take, and then knight here we castle. Castle. Yeah, so bishop e2 is there. I'm just going to go here and look at a3. a5 knight c3, because then it's the exact same thing. And here, he didn't really play bishop e2, didn't play b3. He played queen d5, but it might transpose. So I'm going to look at these lines first. I'm just going to learn these ones. So yeah, a3 beckons a5, that's for sure. Yeah, so never take on e5 until white plays bishop e2 is a good reminder. Okay, so bishop e2, then takes, of course. Okay, and here you go. With the bishop on c1, we should abandon ideas of rook a6. Just a good reminder. You only really go for that once the bishop's committed to b2, because it just feels silly on h6 when the bishop is on c1 like that. Okay, here. And then the other variation, just immediately b3. So white doesn't play bishop e2, so we don't play this. Understandable. And if white... Oh, this is actually probably a really common blunder. If white plays bishop e2, we can play knight takes f2. Good to know. So this makes sense to me. I can see how that line makes sense. But we didn't get a firm answer as to what to do after queen d5. And it's a little bit concerning because queen d5 is the best move in the position. And I don't see it mentioned there. I definitely thought this guy's username was Bestie. Oh, so maybe it's his turn to play the Jobava London. So maybe we should play e6, and our opponent happily goes into a French. No hesitation. Respect. I was going to play e6, a6. But he's just completely ready. Okay. French it is. Oh. Is that a... See, that's the thing. Look at the way he's playing the French. You can tell he's a Jobava London player because Buddy has no clue how to play a French position. Like, if I take right now, he already has to, like, take with the queen, I think. I'll just move the knight. I have a feeling that he really doesn't know what he's doing. And this kind of confirms it. E5 is just hanging. Okay, let's aggravate the bishop. I think we want this knight going to c4, so we're actually going to just take this back with the bishop. I know he wants to play f4, but we'll gain an important tempo here. And I also know that he wants to do this. So let's go bishop c5 so we can meet that with e5. Again, he has to respond like this. And I just think that all these little moments where we're gaining time, I think these are paying off. So let's hit this. Knight a4 is not possible. I'm also hitting this pawn, which technically I can take here. I don't know if that's the vibe. He'll just go here after that. Yeah, let's just castle. 95, we can take it. Probably gotta jump in here. bishop d4 or queen d4 look like good moves. Let's save this bishop, and very likely f6 will be our next one. Want to boot this knight out. Suppose bishop b5 is a pretty decent move. Hang on, though. Hang on, though. Yeah, let's go here because queen takes, trades the queens, and let's not forget I'm up material. So I think he's going to go back. Oh, wow. I didn't see this one. This is a really clever move. But at least he's going to be down a whole heck of a lot of pawns. Not sure this is actually good for him. Just go here. Actually, maybe let's just go here first, hit the rook, and then go here. And I mean, he's just in serious trouble. Bishop d3, knight's hanging, it's pinned. He's down a lot of pawns as well. So even if I wasn't getting the material back here, I think I probably would like my position anyway. Knight f1, also I think just take. Yeah, he's gonna take knight g3, but I don't think this works because we can go here, and I think he should have played at least knight there. But yeah, now we can go rook c1, and the move is so good that we can just remove it, and GG bestie. So yeah, he turned this one into a French. This wasn't really from any chessable course. He turned it into a French, but clearly I can tell that the guy's a d4 player. He doesn't have any clue how to play French because knight f3 already kind of shows a lack of understanding. And then bishop e3, like bishop, he was just losing his center pawn that early into the game. So yeah, there were tons of problems with the way he played. Not that e4 by him is a mistake, but he definitely was not a French player through and through. And he immediately placed his pieces on the wrong squares. So I'll take that. We faced the Jobava London. It's so strong. Nothing I can do about it. GG to my opponent. Another tough game. It's been tough game after tough game today. But nothing to review there in terms of our variations. So let's just bounce to the next game. Is it going to be e4, e5? Yes, it is, of course. All right. What are the f4 odds? What are they looking like? Bishop c4. So I guess we'll take, and we'll find out if this guy's a queen h5 player. No, he's bishop takes f7, but I know it looks like we're the one getting sauced up here, guys, but I promise you, his position is the one that cannot be trusted. So queen here, we're going to save our king. Notice how this knight doesn't have the active g5 square to consider. Knight c6 to d4 looks pretty nice. Let's go. Yeah, I'll go for this. My next move is probably bishop e6 to support this pawn. Worst thing we could do is go here and blunder that, so we have to be ultra aware of what lines he wants to go for here, but should really be fine. I think I'm going to go h5. Knight takes queen h4 is a really good way to activate pieces. I'm actually activating my rook by sacking that pawn. And if he goes knight here, yeah, he kind of temporarily holds things together, but I have knight d4 I can throw in after that. And notice how I'm not playing bishop here because queen d5, I don't know what's happening there. But knight d4 is a huge tempo, and bishop g4 to follow, like even just taking the two pieces as a follow-up will be fantastic as well. So just have to think how we want to do things here. c3 is almost surely going to be my opponent's next move. I think bishop c5 is a pretty decent attempt here. If queen g6, though, I need a good answer. I need a very good answer. because rook h6 is not going to cut it there. And he's going to go c3 next. So I think it might be time to just take the... I think it might be time to just take the material. Like, we know this is good, so not going to stress about it. c3, I think this is probably a move for like an intermezzo. Start with bishop f5. I have knight e2, but I don't think it leads anywhere. I mean, we all maybe have those dreams of going for that checkmate where you sack and go there. Puzzle rush, but I think bishop f5 is a great inclusion. Queen here, we do have knight c2. He can take e5, but that's quite irrelevant. And then queen g3, it's even worse. So let's go here. This one just doesn't really matter. Queen d5, we can always block. We're going to be up so much material here. Yeah. And queen takes, we'll just bring the rook in, and it should be over. So d4, bishop d3. Bishop d3, rook here, bishop here. We're getting close to just a win, outright win. Rook here, rook e1, knight c2, and his own rook is trapped by a knight that moved from his side of the board. And then rook e1, I think we have the crafty bishop a6. So knight c2 is already a great move, but I feel like bishop a6 is more of a hammer move than knight c2. Knight c2 was good, but this is better. Okay, and now we can reactivate this knight. And now we can reactivate this bishop. Okay. Bishop here, rook d2. I'm not sure we're actually getting what we want, so let's just bring in more pieces. h3, bishop d6. So we'll develop with tempo. Doesn't look like tempo, but it is. Covering the escape square. And g3 would be even worse because, yeah, nothing happening there. Okay. Let's bring the queen in. Remember, rook here, we can take it. He's going to go here. I think let's bring the knight in. And now we're threatening checkmate. So we'll see the move h3 almost for sure. But it doesn't help because queen f1 and queen g2 is mate by force. But this is a good reminder. This move order you really see a lot. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. People love to play bishop to c4. GG. Alrighty, let's keep going. Just about 1950 here. Let's work our way up to 2K. Okay, so d4, knight c3. e6 seems to be the most common move by far at these higher levels. And I was wondering when we were going to see bishop d6, because I'm going to be quite honest with you right now. I actually don't really think takes is like it's good for me, but I feel like it's supposed to be very nice for me, and I don't actually view it that way. Because I feel like black just plays for e5, and I find that difficult to prevent. So yeah, I think this gives me more trouble than I care to admit, or at least it just doesn't make as much sense to me. So I'll go here. I can't really prevent e5. I guess we'll just let it happen. to me, it just looks like black has an easy game. So I know that this won't be in the course, but I will be extremely interested to see what I'm supposed to... Basically, what plan do I go for in the middle game after I win this bishop pair? Because I never feel like I like these positions. They always underwhelm me. Always underwhelm me. Okay, I'll try this. If he pushes, we'll go knight h4. We could go here as well. Yeah, I figured that if he took, then we could take here, and we can actually give up 2 pieces for the rook, because at the end, he'll have a knight hanging. So that was a little bit clever of us. Okay, queen b6. Queen d4. We got to take this way. We're definitely ready to take that off the board. What am I saying? Yeah, I can definitely take this way if I want. Here, knight c6, though, takes. So after knight c6, we'll need a different move. Yeah, I'm going to take this way just because of that. So knight here, knight d2. I could see that happening, but I'll play rook c1, rook c3. I will take that guy when I can. Okay, b4 will win material here, so I could take and go bishop d7, or c7, but let's just go here, knight b3, and take that pawn. That'll be simple, easy to execute. And knight d2 is always coming, so although I can play this, black's going to play a5, so let's just make sure to take this material while we can. d6 is also hanging, so it seems to suggest that he's got to take me. Okay, let's take this guy. Knight c3, bishop d3. d2. Seems like an odd move, because knights are kind of together now. This is a little bit clever by him. A little bit. Not gonna lie. So that's hanging. He's got to defend it, surely. We'll pop this pawn up to b5 so he can't support it. Now I think bishop c7 takes. Definitely an idea. Okay, now it's certainly an idea. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Forgot. He's defending that now. Oops. Okay, let's push that. Can't really pre-move that because of knight b3, which is not a great move, knight b3, but takes, knight c4, and at least we now get the a file, which is great. We'd love to see knight d6. That would just kind of simplify things. Maybe. We're not really doing much here. So I think we have to get this going. Here, takes, king d3, and then push. I think it's the only, like, reasonable attempt. Yeah. e4, I think, was the only way to create something out of pretty much nothing. And definitely I preferred rook b6, losing the bishop, because at least there it gives me my rook moves. I can sack the rook for the pawn and hopefully make a draw by pushing my pawn. But he ended up making a really poor decision. He took my rook, and then we were able to get the win. Dirk from ICC. That's a funny username. Remember the ICC days? Okay, G6. Now, after G6, I think if he plays this and G6, then we're in that. But after G6, I think we just play E4 because I don't want to play bishop here and then he plays D6. So yeah, I think we just go for this. Trying to remember. So knight here, I think we actually just played D5. He goes back. Not sure what exactly we're supposed to do after this. I think probably just rook here. If C6, we can play A4. Yeah, I can't really remember exactly, but this has to be fine. It goes knight here. It's probably not the best. Let's play H3. Take. Go bishop here. And if he goes back, like, again, he's just kind of trading off all his pieces. So let's play queen D2. And I don't think anyone can argue that our position is... It's not good. Okay, I'm gonna play A4. Yeah, he wants to go here, but we're not gonna let him like fully... Not gonna let him get exactly what he wants here. At least I'm gonna try. Knight here, we go back. I don't know if this is the best move. I could have started with A5, and I really feel like I should have, but that's what we went with. He goes back. It's probably a good sign for me. I think we're definitely going to go for this one. I don't mind bringing the king up to that square. This check is tempting just because he can't go there, but I'll just hold it in reserve. If he brings his knight here, we'll just bring our bishop back. Bishop F1. There's bishop H3, F4 for him to reckon with. Yeah, we'll definitely play F4 now. A6 is tempting, but let's leave it. Just go F4. Take that square away from him. I think this one is just playable. Yeah, it's getting like pretty... We're kind of expanding maybe a little too far, but none of his pieces are developed, so I just want to take and go D6. If he doesn't take me, I don't know, he might play knight F8. Wow, okay, he expands on the queen side. Makes a little bit of sense. Let's take. Okay, this might not be the best move, but I'm going to go here and just fully strengthen my center. I, again, don't think this is the best move, but it has a really simple plan of putting my queen on C3. Even if bishop F5, I might throw in the move G4, knight E4, queen C3, and I think we have really good pressure on his dark squares. So bishop there, I will be playing that move followed by that move. And I'll do that regardless of whether he takes. Wow. That cannot be right, can it? There's no way. Let's take. Queen takes. I think we're going to hit him with our plan of knight E4. Remember, as soon as this square is vacant, it's going to be a great spot for our queen. So, for example, if knight takes here, we can hit him with that check. Here, we can hit him with all sorts of things. I'm going to start with this. It looks pretty strong. Jeez. I wish we had better. I'll take. Knight takes here. Might hit him with this. Just at the start. Takes. Knight here. Oof, it's so close to working. It's a particularly bad move, especially because takes doesn't work. Okay, maybe not the best pre-move. Just remove the king. Wow, that was a really good move. I think he'll go after my rook. I'm not really sure what the best... Let's take. Predict that. Play this. Good game. Had to get some lucky predictions there at the end. I guess well played. Don't think he actually played that well, but I played really slow, and he did a fantastic job defending. So still well played. There are different ways you can play well. He played pretty well on the clock, but wasn't impressed with the opening one bit. It was a pretty... I wonder what the moves we were supposed to do were. I think we got it right. I think we played d5 at the right moment. Knight b8, rook e1 is just my guess. I have a feeling that if this is in the Hans course, he just ends it right there. That'd be a very Hans thing to do. Just rook e1 and black's position is terrible. So let's just double check. So this, g6, e4, and I think, yeah, we got all this. Knight here, d5, so knight b8, and what was the move here? So bishop e3, okay. Bishop e3, and then there's a couple moves given, but like I've been saying, at this point, it's not really too relevant because every move will be good there. But just out of curiosity, yeah, here we go a4, and then here we take and go queen d2. So anyway, it's not super relevant. We obviously got a really nice position here. Cannot go wrong with any move for white. And I think the position that we got was pretty overwhelming. Like, after queen d2, white just has a massive edge here. Black has 0 pieces developed. And yeah, we just crashed through in the center with this a pawn and then f4, e5. So yeah, pretty happy. b3. Don't know. I felt kind of good about it. I like that the engine's putting some respect on my b3 move, bringing it up to top 3. All right, we're playing Eric Cartman here. We'll go for our opening e3. So if I remember correctly, takes, bishop check, and queen e7. Now, I don't really remember what happens after knight here, but... And maybe we should have started with this bishop check. Can't really remember, but usually it's bishop d2, and then we would check and go d5. So the only thing I really know about this opening is, like, we're kind of supposed to double the pawns when we can. I'm a little nervous to... I'm just going to castle right away and bring a rook to the e-file. I know I'm giving him an opportunity to play this, but I feel like that's not dangerous. Okay, hang on. Here he wants knight e2. Should we be taking this knight while we have the opportunity? This is the stuff that I'm trying to remember. This d5 also looks like it's very, very normal. But I feel like that's not the way that he wants these positions played. Yeah, I don't know. Not too sure here. I'm trying to think like how he would want it played. So I'm just going to double the pawns because that feels like kind of what you're supposed to do. I feel like we double the pawns in almost every single position that we possibly can. So we'll see if that pays off here. Like stopping this is going to be nice for us. Rook always belongs on the open file, and wow, okay, he immediately goes for this. My feeling is that that's too aggressive. Hoping that I can prove that. I think he wants to go here, which I find pretty annoying. So maybe I'm about to just give up this, and I'm doing that because I think I can get a really good stronghold on this square. So I hope that's the case. Could be wrong. But yeah, if I can get the knight there, then we're extremely happy. Yeah. Now at this point, I would say we have a very strong position. Takes, huh? I don't mind some extra trade skis. Just gonna say, if you played there, we did have knight d2. Of course, we'll lend some more support here. Okay, well, eyeball this pawn. This feels really, really dirty to play because like my knight is so strong, but it's a pawn. It's a pretty good looking pawn too. Rook e2, tempting, but once again, gotta take these pawns that are being offered here. I know he can't trade queens. It's out of the question. G3. Okay, let's start to actually move these dang things. Queen d6. Queen d6 and d4. I think that's all we need. Go here. Let's just push. Don't think he can take. Let's go here. If he wants to go here and trade, I feel like my pass pawns should win. So if he wants to go there, then he'll mate himself, maybe hoping for like a discovered check. But I don't think that was ever going to work. Oops. E3. Yeah, so not a very common thing. So takes, bishop b4 check, knight c3. Castle was the right move, and knight f3 makes a little bit more sense, but bishop d3, yeah. So d5 is the move, and it only really gives this. I kind of expected pawn takes, and I was thinking for a sec that looks a little annoying. Okay, so he does want us to play these opposite pawn, sorry, not opposite pawn, isolated pawn positions. Makes sense. Okay. I just don't think I'd ever seen these lines, so I was like, these really what we're supposed to be doing? But yes is the answer. So let's just have a look at this, at these moves here. So just to make sure we're learning them, takes, yeah, bishop b4. Castling, so we had the right plan here. But bishop c3, I knew it wasn't something I'd ever seen before, but I was still curious. Because usually we want to double the pawns, I feel like, in this opening. So that's why I went for that. I didn't really see what move we're supposed to do here, so I'm going to assume it's d pawn. Okay, d5 as well after knight f3. Interesting. Okay, so I guess these positions work out to be about the same. All right, more e4, e5. Very stressful, but thankfully our stress is alleviated when people play the Vienna. Okay, so knight f3. We don't see that move too often. I think that we want to play this. So bishop c5, bishop b4. And then after bishop here, I believe we want to go for c5. Okay, interesting. So we don't want to take this. We definitely want to take this. I haven't seen this move before, but makes sense. And now we have a definite choice. If I take here, the interesting thing is the knight doesn't have a single square because the d4 is hanging. So he actually has to go back to g1, and then maybe we can follow up with knight c6 and castle quickly. I can also take here, but bishop takes c5. Why on earth would I want to allow that? Unless there's like a forced win or something, but I'm not seeing it. There's g3, king f2 looks totally fine, so definitely going to take this. Knight g1 looks forced. And then I'll probably go here. Yes, you can go bishop g5 or b5, but I'll castle. You want to take, go ahead. I'm going to open the position. So yeah, let's go here. Of course, you can go c3 as well, but I think I'm happy to see that move. And let's, do we castle first and then play f6? Probably, right? There's also queen a5. Like, yeah, we should definitely get our king out of the middle. He's stopping a check that was kind of non-existent. I think f6 is a very strong looking move here. Just making sure to check this. I'm just going to operate on a, like, that can't be good basis. Like, there's no way. Okay, well. Also operate on a that can't be good basis with that move as well. Rather successfully. Let's just keep it simple and go here. Okay. I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm going to defend everything and just bring our bishop back to safe square. Could put it out to c4, but maybe I want that square for my knight. So I'm just going to do this. The queen d6, rook d8, b6 after rook b1, and d5 is always well met by knight e5, so not terribly concerned. Yeah, rook b1, b6. Meanwhile, rook d8 be a nice move. Knight e5 to get into c4 be a nice move. We'll definitely just play b6. Really, really easy move to play for us. Easy reaction to that. Knight e5, I think looks like the right idea. We'll pop into c4. a5, again, gets well met by knight c4. And obviously you can't take it. Me playing knight a5 would pretty much have the same effect as this, but not only does this look cooler, but it also has ideas like on the king side as well. So okay, let's do this for now. Useful move. Bishop f1, I could see him playing and blundering his queen, so let's just let him possibly blunder his queen. Okay. I think we're actually okay with this. Let's start with this. Hit the knight. Okay, let's get over here. A lot of nice knight moves next. Jump in here. I'm going to move the bishop instead. Rook f1 walks into a few things. Let's get out of this. I think we want to take that, surprisingly. We'll see if we can go for this. It'll still be a tough position to navigate. Maybe not anymore. He just made it a lot easier. Start with this check. And have some other checks happening or not. Good game, good game. Once again, not a very challenging Vienna game. So I wonder, how did we play it in the opening? I don't think I've ever seen knight takes e4 in our course, but I haven't looked at all the lines. So let's have a look together. f4, d5, takes, knight f3, bishop c5. So we didn't dive too deep into these lines, but I think I saw one line which was with bishop b5 after c5. Yeah, bishop b5 check. So knight takes e4 is actually not even given here, and I imagine it's because of what we saw in the game. Like, it was just really simple. I mean, first of all, the evaluation is not very pretty. Let's see if I played it right, though. Knight takes e4. It's just going to be pawn takes. He doesn't even play c3, which is an interesting looking move. He plays bishop takes b4. And did we make the right choice? So we took here. Smart. Knight g1 has to be played. We decided to start with knight c6. Maybe castling was better, but kind of the same idea. He goes c3. We're happy to take that. And go like this. All right. e4. Of course, it's got to be an e4, e5 game with the potential 2k. Okay, knight f6, d3. Of course, it's got to be our toughest line. So d3 and castling is interesting because I think the whole point of d3 and for us to play this is that we do that against the c3 knight d2 stuff. But against this, I'm just not sure that we need to. This looks like a very, I don't know, very solid variation. Like, at this point, I think I just want to do this. Go d6 and like that, but at this point, I'm probably just going to go like this. This looks like a really tame way to play. So I'm not sure what would be recommended there. Be interested to find out, but okay. Guess we should probably take castle, queen, b3, and what's happening here? Most likely I need to do, I don't know, something like this. Yeah, this looks annoying to deal with. I might have to move the queen now. Or no, he has time for this. Yeah, I think I'll still keep this idea in mind. In here. What I'd love is this rook to just be on the other side of the bishop. So something like this, and bishop back to c8, most likely on my horizon. I've got my knights where they need to be, supporting here. And he does go for d5. I think I'm going to start by just going here. Takes, I guess he takes with the pawn. Okay, so he takes here. Still, taking with the pawn is interesting, but it gives me this problem here, I guess. I can say problem. If I take with the bishop, I think he wants to play bishop d5. Does that make any sense? So I'm going to play the riskier looking move, pawn takes. Doesn't look like it's good, but does look like kind of gets me what I want. If I played knight g4 there, I think he had c4. So I'll do this to put my bishop on e6. I think this is what I'm looking for. He goes here anyway, which is like a remarkable decision. So we'll start by winning a pawn. He's got to put his knight on a really suspicious square. I can go here, but c5 threatens this pawn again. It's actually kind of annoying. Okay, let's go here. If he pushes, I do get this pawn. He gets some tempi with knight c4. Not sure if it's the right idea, but a pawn is a tough thing to give up if you're my opponent here. I think you might have to do it. Okay, definitely want to take, separate these pawns so he's not getting like connected pass pawns or anything. I don't know if this is the right idea, but yes, we'll do this. This move will probably go here. I think he should have tried this. I probably would have played rook c8 and let him tie himself up here. Ooh. Now he's giving me... which way should we take? I guess we take like this so that we guard our pawn. This move is actually kind of a mistake. Yeah, not really the best way for me to play there. Because I think there was rook f7, surprisingly. We're gonna have to give up some pawns here, and I think I need just a playable position. So let me give up some pawns so I can finally get my pieces out. I'd love to pretend that that was a voluntary decision. Okay, let's go here. Maybe there's this idea. It doesn't win material right now, and I have to be careful not to get into that endgame, but I guess in lucky fashion, our opponent blundered absolutely everything. Okay, so we have a safe square for our king, and now we can go after that. We can pre-move just fine. Let's take that first. Let's play this. Blocking my bishop here, just already getting ahead of the stalemate accusations. Okay, good game. Good game. Played really well. A lot of my opponents have today, between 1900 and 2000. Some really, really tough games, especially when I'm really out of my element. Can't move as quickly, as confidently. Like, I barely know the ideas in some of these openings. So truly, the people that I've played, probably more knowledgeable than me in some of the openings we're playing, and it's been pretty apparent in a few of the games. So you could tell my opponent was playing really well this game. He didn't, he definitely understood some of the opening concepts. Now, I know for a fact my bishop's not supposed to be outside of my pawn chain, but I didn't feel confident playing g5, and I wasn't sure what my waiting move was. Maybe it was supposed to be d6, and then decide on the move g5 or not. So I know for a fact I'm not ever supposed to get into any of these positions, so I know that it won't be in the course. But in the game, I decided to do it because I couldn't be sure about d6 and g5, because I thought white would just play for d4. You made it to the end of yet another episode. I hope that this was really informative, letting you guys know how to study chess, how to improve at it, and how to use Chessable as a tool to help do so. At the end of the day, I think it's one of the best ways that you can learn openings, and I think that this series is a pretty good example of that. So if you liked those courses that I was working through, or if you wanted to pick up different ones more specific to your repertoire, make sure to use chessable.com/chessbrah if you're going to upgrade to a pro membership. That's all from me, and we'll see you in the next episode.